my fault. They say just let them motherfuckers talk till they kill themselves. It ain't my fault. Talk yourself into a coma. As I have taught y'all that the true lineage of a Norseman is in geographical north. See, they playing with these words, so you got to make sure you tell them you're talking about geographical north. That means directional north. With the four sections being north, south, east, and west. Directional. You know what I'm talking about? Directional north. You got to make sure they understand what you're talking about. And they're going to try to trip you with it geometrically and the coordinates of the globe with all the geometrics and shit that they have to use to do that shit with. So that's how they gonna play the game. But see, you can make them tell you the truth. You can make them tell you the truth. They want this shit. You can make them tell you the truth. Make them tell you the truth. Well, over there. Hold up. Man, where you want this shit at? Yeah, you can make them tell you the truth. Make them tell you the motherfucking truth. Hold on. Yeah, you can make them tell you the truth. They're deceptions. Man, all those Norsemen came out of geographical north. All of them came out of geographical north. They migrated from an area. That was cold and frigid and didn't receive no sun. And didn't receive no sun. Didn't receive no sun. Ain't that something? And they wanted some sun so bad, but the sun didn't fuck with the north. The sun did not fuck with the north. Cause the sun rises in the east, get at its highest point, stands at its highest point over the south, which is Africa, according to the earth cross. See, according to the earth cross. 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 That's what I'm we're gonna talk about these little migrations, how they just hid out in the east and trying to hide from their lineage, which we know they are beasts, which we know they are beasts. Yeah. See, they migrated. See, this is their migration. Their migration came out of the north, even all the way up to Rus. But Rus, they already migrated over to the east, up into the fake that Europe. That's why it come out Eurasia first. See, that's why they already called themselves Eurasia, because they already migrated before they start putting their so-called mythological knowledge out here and take over the world with the beast help. The beast gave them a little hue, like I told you. Gave them a little tan, gave them a little color, gave them a little hue, and they become the age of persuasion. But you still got mama. You got mama Caucasian. These pure whites, where they come from. These Europeans are the babies of these pure whites. Their lineage come out of the north. And when they got when they come across there, the Russians, they come from over there too. They come from the north too. All these white people share the same lineage, the same ethnic genetic makeup lineage, and they told you they was Norsemen. They told you they was Norsemen. They was the Norsemen. Scandinavia, the Vikings. I remember the Vikings, they had some shit called rickets. And they had to use some vitamin D from the sun. That's when they started taking cod liver oil. Y'all remember cod liver oil? It's a vitamin D from the sun. They helped them because their bone structures and shit was fucked up. I showed you how they were born with their bones backwards, all on fours. The sun helped them get out of that. But the same vitamin D from the sun, they got it out of the cod fish, the cod liver oil. Cod liver oil and the sun, when the sun rays, the medicine and healing of the sun would heal them and help them stand upright in righteousness. You know what I'm talking about? In real life. See, I'm a bust their ass up with facts. The facts that they didn't put out here. I ain't got no slander and none of this shit. I can tell you what the fuck these folks here. And I'm gonna show you their deception. Now, every time they pop up out of the north. Not no goddamn geometric north from the top of no North Pole or none of that shit. No, they came from geographic north. See, this is the earth cross. This ancient science for your ass. This the earth cross. This the earth cross. First you got the circle, then the sun, the dot, then the soul, and then you come with the crossing of the earth. They got it in front of the church at the earth cross. And that's what gives you 4 directions. And they already claim. Now they want to claim that the center is Gog and Magog. No. Because when you go back and do your research, those people, like I told you, they already claim their center, their corner of the earth. And one in the east is, I think, Gog or Magog. It's Gog and Magog. Those are the 2 corners of the earth that the north and the east have already claimed. They already claimed. up in this bitch that we know that land mass, that ice sheet up there in the North Pole, that ice sheet that's supposed to be between the 90th parallel means parallel to each other, not going up in the sky. Parallel as you, they mark the spot as X. See? But see, this was going on. That ice sheet, and they're talking about that they play with the so-called North Pole, is in the same location where the sun don't give that much light to. That's why the North and the South Pole has the same type definition. That's why it does the same thing. Because this is their definition of this location. This hidden location, this deception, they didn't the world. Why you think they don't claim their lineage? Why they not proud of their lineage? I like my bloodline. I'm proud of my bloodline. I'm proud to know that my bloodline is the ones who went over and civilized the world. See, the elite got to be seen to achieve. They can't achieve greatness through truth, righteousness. They can't receive prosperity through it. They got to lie to the world. The sun don't even like them. So that's why they don't like the sun. You get it? The sun don't even like them. That's why they don't like the sun. The sun never showed them no love. But the sun did show them love. It's secondary. He get his light from the sun. But it's not the primary promoter sun. Yeah, the one. See, that's why they calcified. You can't tell me that pure white bread had no fucking metal. It's fuck, donkey, it's fuck. Like, yeah, I done seen motherfucking white boy stick his dick up in a snake. Real shit. Huh? So why they got the same? Why the South and the North poles doing the same thing? And why is the Southern Hemisphere navigating and moving around and moving up the grids of what the fuck the North is doing if it's a top and bottom half of a ball? See, these parallels go in from south. The North and the South Pole, if they're in the locations where they're at, both of them are south. South is outbound. North is inbound. Sirius is when the star Sirius, that's the southern star. Because it moves around in a wide circular motion. The North Star, that they call the North Star, Polaris, is not stationary. It's around a central hub. It just spirals in a small circle. So you can kind of keep up with it. It spirals in a small circle around this central hub that they try to create and deem God, Amun, the promoter, black rock, black disc of existence that they call dead, and they deem God to the earth forever when they made that black rock. That's what the North did to the sun, because they hate the sun. Real motherfucking life. Not about a plan. See? And see, these locations where when they migrated to the east, did all that Europe shit, invented a continent. Them Russians, they done set in there. But Russia come from when they started making the European countries. That's Sweden and Rus. All these are the same people, and their lineage come from geographical north, over the next to Canada and Greenland. But there's an area in that geographic north, whichever one it is, I think it's Magog. It's Magog. That's their corner. And how do you corner globe? How do you get 4 corners out of the globe? It's spirit. You see that it's a circle. It's a circle. It's the earth cross. You cross lands. You walk miles across the land. Desert, water, you cross the land. We cross the Atlantic. Flatly, flush. Yeah, we didn't go up no water hills, none of that shit. Fuck all that. And so when you make this earth cross, that's when you make these 4 locations. See, that's why I was just dealing with east and west first. South. North. Same way you got my language. Same way you got my language. It's about you been talking. See? But what I'm gonna show y'all is that same, ain't nothing new up under the sun. The sun rises in the east. There's a true east though. Just like it's a far north. There's a true east. Far north. Where's far north? See? There's a true east. Look, the sun rises in the east. And the sun was called Solarius. This is how they come up with Polarius. The sun was Solarius to them. And the sun been here doing the same thing on the same axis and pivot and rotation as it's been doing, like all the stars got their own rotation. Just like I told you, the southern star is Sirius. It got a wide rotation and it stays on the southern boundaries. The southern boundaries is the outer ring. The southern boundaries is the outer ring. That's the star Sirius. That's what the people in the southern hemisphere should be concentrating on, but they concentrating on this north star because it ain't a southern hemisphere. All this shit is fake. Just like when ain't no Arctic Ocean, I know Antarctic Ocean, none all that shit is fake. See? And just like when they say they position these locations on this map, and once you get them and you try to fit them onto a globe, it's spherical. These land masses change places and locations, just like Australia. So now Australia today, watch it when they say something about it borders. When something starts bordering something, it's supposed to be over here, but now it's bordering the Pacific. How the fuck Australia bordering the Pacific? Because you done moved it up. Because people start catching your ass. I'm 56, I'm gonna be 56 years old. I done heard all the lies y'all done told and studied them. See, and studied them in real life. And studied them in real life. How can I say goodbye to what we had? It's not only bitch. See why I can't. I'm trying to see why I can't get my green screen back up, because I want to show y'all the receipts. But don't worry about it, I just talk this shit. I freestyle this shit. So what we got going on is the migration and the leaving behind of the lineage. And that's when you get the double-headed eagle, really a phoenix, a mythological bird, with the 33 on the chest, the same bird flying, the same bird, the two-headed bird flying the same bird, that a two-headed eagle flying the same bird. That's the Khazar, that's the split. And the Russians are already on the continent. The Russians are on the continent. Now every time that damn motherfucker go live, bro. Fuck. The Russians are on the same continent as Asia. Russia ain't got no fucking continent. Russia is in Asia. But they migrated there. And sat in there with the beast. From the east. And made all these synagogues, sat back and figure out how they're going to take over the world, hide your God from you, and esoteric, get paid and gain power by fucking you around that they have deemed to the earth to never return to heaven and never be known about again. But it's physical. You can watch God reveal himself as being the life giver, the light bringer, and all that. They just want the light. They want to get rid of the black disc so they can create a God that put the light there for you. The light bearer. Who is that? That's Lucifer. That's the light bearer. He's going to bring the light for you. This is what these demons are doing. See, I'm scared of these folks for real. But these are evil-ass motherfucking people. But they represent their God. The one to get them light. The moon. Yeah, the moon. Lunar cycles. The lunatics. And where they migrated from, they come out of those caves, come out of those mountains, Canadians, all up off in there, and they started emerging up out of those caves as beasts, Bigfoots, That's where they emerge from. Every time they pop up in storage, they just emerge somewhere. Here come the Vikings. Here come the Scandinavians. Here come the Norwegians. All of them coming out of the geographical area of North. And it's a corner. And how you corner it is cornered from the center, from the earth cross. So in tic-tac-toe, the top left-hand corner will represent North. But North sits right on top of the West, and that's how the United States of America got usurped up into the belly of the beast. Canada was they kind of all right because they getting a little light. They getting a little light from the West. Because God gonna come sit in the West with us. See, he rest upon Jacob's style. He come rest in the West. He sets and lies and rest in the West. The children are going with us in America. That's where the Americas, the West. The United States of America is not North. They're usurped by North, the beast type shit. But it's sort of lies and rests over here in the West, in paradise with abundance. And then he do it all over again. But he never, ever go north. So in that region of the north where they was emerging from, and during the winter, they had to stay up in them caves and shit. They couldn't even come out that bitch because it was so rigid winter for them. Rigid, freezing, they can't do shit. That's why they eat and all that shit, because they ain't gathering enough food to last the winter. You feel me? So when winter comes, it's gonna be chaos because mama's gonna start eating the babies. All that shit. They having sex with the animals, all kind of shit. But they start emerging out of this frigid area. Once the winter is gone, here comes the swarm, here comes spring. They still don't get that much sun, but the winter is too hard for them. The winter season is too hard for these people. And they crave the sun, and the sun won't play with them. The sun won't give them shit, because the sun don't go north. See, so Solarians don't fuck with north. You know what fuck with north? The moon. So that's why the moon is their god. See, that's why the moon is their god. See? That's why they love the moon and love cold conditions. You can be outside in freezing weather, skinning into ice water, all that shit, because that's in their nature. That's in their nature. See, this same area where all of them was popping out at it and then started claiming, I'm Swedish, I'm Swedish. Sweden and Rus was the last two European countries that they created after they had already migrated and settled in the east with the beast and created Eurasia. See what I'm saying? I know you do. So what happened after this? What happened after this? What happened after this? They migrate. Hold up. You got Germany, France, Sweden, then Rus. That's Russia and Sweden. That's what they had to divide. Russia got to stay over there and hold it down in Asia, because they didn't claim a spot in Asia. Why Russia's not a continent? Because Asia's the continent. Because Asia's the continent. Now they're resting over there with the beast. With the beast. And what he blessed them with was a little Asian persuasion. You see that Mongol, he got a little yellow junk on his ass. So when they start making babies, these Europeans start coming out with a little Asian persuasion, like I have told y'all. This the motherfucking truth. See? This the motherfucking truth. But ain't no such thing as European. Y'all are Northeasterners. Y'all, and the ethnicity is Mongol and Caucasian. Real white. That's your ethnicity. And you want to be called European, that's your true ethnicity. Your true ethnicity don't lie in no language and no mythological bull being carried by no Zeus and all that shit. We talking about who the fuck you are in real life. See, that's what the fuck going on. I'm faded right today. So I'm gonna bust their ass up. See, now watch this. Now the same way they move, Australia from being the land down under. I come from the land down. The land used to be down under. Australia used to be down there at the bottom of Africa. As a matter of fact, they said they cut the Suez Canal so it'd be easier to even go over there and get to Australia. Then they start easing it up. Then it end up being in that same position where China, where Japan's supposed to be at. And so now they say it borders the Pacific and the Indian Ocean. No, it should be in the Indian Ocean in the southern hemisphere. But now it borders the Pacific because all that shit is in the Pacific. Because it ain't no Arctic Ocean or no Antarctic Ocean. See? It ain't no Arctic Ocean or no Antarctic Ocean. See? It ain't no Arctic Ocean or no Antarctic Ocean. It's Pacific, Indian, and Atlantic Oceans. Even when they created the four waters with the Rupert Snago, with the black rock and all that shit, they got four waters coming together. And they said now one of those is the Pacific. That's the separation of the Arctic Ocean. So you got an Arctic Ocean over your head, then it runs down, then the regular oceans come into play. See, they dumb as fuck. And they want you to be dumb as fuck. But nah, we're not gonna be dumb as fuck. We're not gonna do that. No, we're not gonna do that. See, our God gave us insight. Genius. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We ain't gonna even much do that. No way, no how. So what happened is that area that they migrated from was so rigid, and the God, the Solarius, the God of creation, true creation, the one, the life giver, life and light giver, to promote that black disc, it don't travel to the north. This is where they develop their hate for it. They yearn to have sunlight, especially during the frigid winter time. See, and this ain't that going to the sun. It's the same area on the earth where the sun don't go. And just because you mentally trying to tell me that a pole is in the north to compare and compete with the sun, to be the opposite pole, forming a ball of water up under that bitch, and now the bowl mean Lord and all that shit. No, the sun never have traveled to the north. That's hilarious. He never ever shed light on the north like that. That's why Alaska don't get that much sun, right? So cause Alaska's in the north, not up around no motherfucking pole, just tilted over to the east. And not because of the tilt of the earth. They want to tell you they don't get that much sun because of the tilt. That's why they tilted it away from the north. I mean, that's why they tilted the top of the globe away from the north, so they can have an excuse why Alaska don't get that much sun. But they never gave them that much sun. Alaska in the north ain't part of the United States of America. Canada and Greenland. And so the area between Greenland, 80% ice, Greenland, the area between Greenland, Canada and Greenland, that area right there where all of them coming out those caves, that rigid area that they couldn't stand, they was dying doing the one and all kind of shit. Had to stay in them caves, lay around dead bodies and just be up there just doing caveman shit. Fred Flintstone ass shit. They don't even know how to strike a rock and get no fire. See what I'm saying? They ain't had no Flintstone. They know what a Flintstone was. They ain't know about no Flint. They won't set no fire. They probably, I give them that much credit. They probably had a Flintstone. We'll give them Flintstones. But that same area where God don't shed no light on, that same fucking area where God don't shed no light on, right? They migrate from that area and go settle in the east and then come back right around where they create that pole at and settle in right there and create a north pole and deem your God to the earth forever. Because that's what he did to them. Because they couldn't come to the heavens. Because they were not solar beings. Their life did not come from the sun. That's why they don't give a fuck about the sun. Their life comes from the moon, the secondary light source. They say he is the lesser light. And his light and life still comes from the energy of the sun, but it can't do what the original light do. So you deem to the earth and deem to be decomposed and go up under the ground. You're the one that's deemed to the earth. Now you're trying to reverse that shit. Because you can't get to the heavens, to these stars, to these melanated. That's why to this day y'all still study melanin. That's why to this day y'all still studying military. See, you got to study because you don't know what the fuck going on with it, and you know that's the lifeline. That's why you still studying niggas today. But anyway, that area they was emerging from, just popping up in history, they just pop up over here, Scandinavia, popping up over, they're just popping up out of that northern geographical area called North. They're just popping up from right there. That area, they migrated from that area, and now they settling in the east and don't want nobody to talk about an Eskimo, don't want nobody to say nothing that's gonna connect that shit back to that geographical location where they migrated from. So that geographical location where they migrated from is still there, and today it's called Antarctica. Yeah, today that area is called Antarctica. Just like I told you, that Scott Teal plate is sitting right down there next to South America, and the tip of Antarctica is sitting right next to the peninsula of South America. But the Scott Teal plate floats back some kind of way, up this ball some kind of way, and the Scott Teal plate end up being connected to Ireland, the land of hibernation, the land that I'm gonna show you that's the land of the Atlanteans that they sunk up under the motherfucking water. And that would make those islands royal because they did a royal deed when they dropped us and took our land right there. In the first solar eclipse, it's recorded in stone in 3,340 BC. 3,040 BC in Ireland. Who the fuck, what white man was there in 3040 BC carving on the wall the eclipse? The first solar recorded eclipses in Ireland. Because those were them Atlanteans. Because those were them Atlanteans. Huh? Because those were them Atlanteans. And they sunk, man. They sunk part of their shit up under the earth with some Indian type goddamn ancient weaponry. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. Yep, and I'm gonna show y'all all this shit I'm talking about. Cause my name on field, and that's how I do this shit. That's how I do this shit. I'm gonna show y'all. In real life, I'm gonna show y'all this shit. So they migrated and don't want nobody to understand the geographical north, and now they sit over here, and now they want north to be in the center and not talk about the true north. But you already claimed your corner. That's your corner over there. That's why I said the west is our corner. Yeah, the Western Plateau is our corner. Hold on, y'all. Matter of fact, hold on. The Western Plateau is our corner. Western Plateau is our corner. See what I'm talking about? 12, 20, 12. Yeah. But they left that area. But guess what? Ain't that new under the sun. And that same area today is a rigid area that the sun don't give no light to. So common sense tell you what, that's the same area they're from. That's why they trying to hide and don't want to talk about it, because that's the ice they playing with. They homeland, which they were mad about God not giving no sun over there, the reason why they hate the sun. Then they start getting melanoma, the cancer, you know what I'm saying? They recessive, they hate the sun. But that same rigid area, it ain't going nowhere because they migrated from it. That's the area they from. And that's where the ice at, and that's what they call Antarctica right now. You heard what I said? That's what they call Antarctica right now. See? And then guess what? They used to say, well, you can't fly over the North Pole ice because the ice is so cold, the airplanes can't fly over it. That's what they used to say. Then all of a sudden they at the North Pole, mapping shit out, submarines emerging from the ice, airplanes landing on the ice. They said motherfucker couldn't even fly over that motherfucker. I'm 56, I remember. I'm 56, I remember. See what I'm saying? I remember. See? And that same area still exists. They don't have any military. They try to disguise the restrictions of flying over this area. But you can't fly over that area today. Now, I wish I could get my damn screenshots of how I show you. You can't fly too low in that area. They don't want you to see what the fuck going on. This the area they hide, the area, they homeland. Yeah, their roots, their ethnicity, their lineage. That's their land, that's their Antarctica. And right now today, they got all kind of restrictions, and flight restriction, zone restriction of that area. What area I'm talking about? I'm talking about the area between Greenland and stretching out to where they so-called say Great Britain sits in the Middle East, because the Middle East is where the pole is at instead of the north. But the real north, the North Pole should be in the north. The so-called star Polaris is not in the north. It circles, it moves. It got its own little circle around this little hub. But it's not directly over what they talking about. But you can keep up with it because it got a tight circle of motion. You can keep up with it and guide yourself by it. But it moves. All the stars rotate. All of them, including the star that don't move. And Sirius is the southern star, and that's the one with the wide. The brightest star is the one that why so bright. Just say it's the one with the wide rotation. Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. So that's why they try to hide themselves. That's why they don't try to fuck with their lineage. That's why they try to make up a whole new lineage off linguistics and myth. Their whole lineage is linguistic and myth now. See? It don't make no sense. I know y'all just keep spinning on that ball. But I'm gonna keep dropping facts. And when I come, the next time I come back, I'm gonna have every motherfucking receipt I need to show y'all what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm gonna have every single receipt I need to show y'all what the fuck I'm talking about. And it make plenty of sense. Because that's what the fuck happened, and it's the truth. Why they don't want to claim the north where they come from? Belgium, and they took over Africa and all kind of shit. They just went to the east and just settled in. They had to go somewhere and seek refuge. See, this the true refugee. And now they want to claim our shit, enslave us, and do all this bullshit. Y'all the foreigners on our land. I ain't forgave you for trespassing on my shit. They talk that shit in church. Please forgive those who trespass against us and all this. No, I don't forgive you for trespassing on my shit and setting up shop and then put me in debt. One of the biggest sins it is. One of the biggest sins it is to be in the world. One of the biggest sins it is to be in the world. That's how you born into sin. They done trapped you. In a covenant, in a default covenant, that's how they done trapped you. That's how they done trapped you. Now, everybody that pepped in this motherfucker heard a little something. Go check my own fed like I've been telling y'all for years, man. Just check behind me. I ain't gonna pop it unless I know how to pop it. Now make me know that ain't not an article. Cause that's the same. Yeah, copy? Yeah. That's the same. Let's see. Time now. I'm gonna put 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Alright, okay. Alright, amigo. So just go behind me and look at how they acting today. Living off goddamn linguistic as being goddamn an ethnicity and trying to tell you motherfucking anti-Semitic towards your own language that you gave them and taught them how to talk. They've been talking. How the fuck do Ireland winds up with the first recorded eclipse? The first recorded eclipse in the world is an island, and that's them Atlantean shit that they sunk up under this goddamn water. And I told you, I said, them bitches, them islands is royal. See, this is how I came up with it. I said, them islands is royal because of what they done to some royal people. And they used to be called hibernating. I said, so that land just hibernating, huh? Until they decided what they gonna do with that land, huh? And Scott's Hill Plate is down in the southern hemisphere, but it ends back up over there and connected to Ireland and Scotland. Scotland, I might get on y'all next, but y'all ain't worth it. y'all wear skirts and blow bagpipes and all of those dumb shit. Nigga don't give no fuck about this. You don't give a fuck about y'all. Like this enough right here. Cause all you motherfuckers are the same bloodline and lineage. And all you motherfuckers came out that north. All you motherfuckers came out that north. All you motherfuckers came out that north. And that's where y'all from. And y'all trying to hide that frigid location where the sun don't go, especially in the wintertime, because it's too frigid and cold in that same exact area. And it's still doing the same thing today like it always have done, because the sun has never changed its rotation and its axis and its pivot in this world. And y'all mad about it. So y'all had to get somewhere where y'all can get a little sun, and migrate with that beast, that dragon, and become the world dominant powers and elitely fuck over the world. Yeah, the elites must deceive to achieve greatness. But you cheat. You gotta cheat to beat. You ain't the truth. The true bloodline and the true God of existence is not supernatural. If it was supernatural, we wouldn't be able to lay our eyes on it. It's very visible. And it's the black disc inside that sun, that which y'all call the portals. All y'all religions, y'all say that's the portal, but you put a deity in front of it and disguise it and hide the sun from everybody, because you don't want nobody to study this shit that I've been studying for a long time. And I ain't never played with it, because I hate to be lied to, and I ain't gonna rest till I figure shit out. That's my nature. And my culture is agriculture. And that's how we caught y'all ass. That's how we caught y'all ass. With that being said, I'm gonna get up off this bitch so I can come back with them elite receipts. Because they elite. You shouldn't even need them, because you ought to be able to see this beast by now. With horns growing out their pioneer plane. That's their problem. They can't get to the top tier. See, it's a 3-tier cosmology. And they can't go to the heavens, because they didn't come from the heavens. They was mutated into humans, and their life source is the moon. And that's why the moon is their god. And that's why I call them lunatics. That's why I call them lunatics. So sexy. So sexy. And that's why they go up on the lunatic. The lunatic. See? That's why I call them lunatics. But they deal with the lunar cycle. All the agriculture they were doing it with lunar cycle. So the Northeast is always going to be the best. And Africa goes along. Africa is the South. And that's why I think the Africans are so heavily melanated, because the sun at its highest point sits over top of Africa like it just burns them up. And then it come on over to the west. It just come on over to the west, and then just chill on that. And by the time I've been dropping this knowledge, what's last night? I said, damn, I gotta start over now. Anyway, this certain land mass where the sun do not go to the day, ain't nothing new up on the sun. It's a frigid land mass. It's a frigid, hey baby. It's a frigid first lady melanin 3D. I wish I know why I stopped there. But it's all good, so I can get my screenshots now. But these people migrated from a place, I'm talking about all of them. Sweden and Rus, which is Russia. That's the separation. Khazarian and Ashkenazi Jew. That's the separation of the Jew. The Russian is already settled into the east, because they migrated over there to get warmth and shelter. These are the motherfucking refugees, because during the winter they can't get no fucking sun. During the winter they can't get no motherfucking sun. So Alaska is the north, not up on top of no wall. It's a geographical north. Location-wise, geographical north, according to the Earth cross. See, once you cross it up, you're gonna create north and south. Africa is going to be the south. We already know what East and West is. The two largest land masses is East and West. The largest one is Asia. And then you got the Americas. Canada is not part of the West. Canada is sitting in the north across Niagara Falls. Let me tell you, see that nigga, that Niagara, that's nigga shit. Niagara Falls, it got a black side and a white side. Northwest means no whites. Come across this land. Yeah, but they get a little, see Canada get a little sunshine across those mountains from the west, from the sun sitting in the west. That's why they kind of can survive during the little winter and shit. But they got a land mass where all these Vikings and all these Norwegians and Norways and Scandinavians, all those Norsemen were submerging out of these same areas at those caves. They were submerging and popping up out of these caves. Them Vikings. I just told you about the car liver and all this shit. The car liver, all the rickets, they used to have rickets. Their bones were fragile bones. Had the car liver oil. That's why they started eating codfish and shit. And that's where liver oil come from. But the sun gave them a little help. But they get their energy from a secondary source. They get their light and their energy from a secondary source. They don't get it from the sun. They get it from the lesser light, which is the moon. And the moon still get its resource. You get his resource from the source. But they ain't got the energy that we got. That's why they can't get to the heavens. That's why their pioneer vein is calcified. That's why they grow horns from it. Because it's calcified. See? That's how this shit go. Yeah, that's how this shit go now. It's real life. These facts. These facts. See what I'm talking about? These are facts. So this land mass that they left that was so frigid during the winter, and they ain't have a system to gather enough food to last through the winter, so they live in a cave, eating each other, having sex with animals, sleeping next to dead bodies, all this shit. They ain't never had no barriers for their folks and none of that shit. That's why I don't want you to go investigate the North, because they ain't never had shit. Why the North ain't got no ancient shit? The most thing they got is a goddamn council that we built. That's our shit. That's Negro shit. That's Negro bloodline shit. After a takeover type shit. They ain't got nothing ancient in the North, man. Canada ain't got shit to show for shit. Canada, Greenland, and Alaska is the northern region. And there's another region in between that Canada, Alaska, and Greenland. You can take that area right there. From that point to where they go over there and create Great Britain around that magnetic pole, this is where they migrated from. And that area still got restrictions to this day that you can't fly low. Because they said you couldn't fly over the motherfucker because it was too cold. Airplanes couldn't even fly over the North Pole because they said it was too cold and it would fuck the airplanes up. Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they said. And they still got these restrictions now with this same area because God do the same thing to that area right now. It don't get sun. God is Solarius. This is why they came with Polaris, because God is the Solarius. And God only shine, rise in the east, stand up over Africa at its highest point, and then come rest at home with his children. Yeah, I'm set in the west. The west where it's blessed in abundance. Paradise. El Paradise. Yeah, Key West. And don't get enough no love. And that's why they got a true passion and a divine hate for the sun. I'm telling you, they think they done deem the black this down, the black rock. That's what they doing. They done deem your God down to the earth forever. So you'll never be able to find them out. That's why esoterically they hide it. Esoterically, they tell you the sun is gonna blind you and all this old shit. They got to hide the sun from you. Because if they don't, you're gonna find your divinity. You're gonna find your divineness. And you're gonna find what make you set you apart from the rest of these so-called humans on this earth. The rest of these so-called, these mutations. The rest of these mutations. The wars Asia against the Americas. And the people from the North, they had went and settled. That's why the North Pole is really in Northeast. I ain't gonna say Middle East, Northeast. Northeast is where the pole is at, in the middle. Where they unite at right there. They hide the North. And all of them got the same lineage from the North. In that same area where it's frigid at, the same thing Solarius was doing back then is the same thing Solarius do to that area right now. It don't give that area no sun. And guess what they call it? They didn't get what that area is called. Antarctica. That's Antarctica. That's Antarctica. They got flight restrictions. Oh, let me see if I can get my motherfucking screen shot right. Let me see if I can get my motherfucking screen right. Let me see if we can pop some screen shots. We're gonna read these out. We're gonna read these out. We're gonna show you this. Let me show y'all what we got. I'm gonna show you what we got going on. Show you what we got going on. See? Show you what we got going on. You get these right there. See? You see the Earth cross? You see the Earth cross? It's hilarious. The sun, the soul, always has been the primary original powerhouse, and it follows its own path separate from the center hub. What center hub? The hub they created. The hub the so-called star Polaris. It ain't no goddamn Polaris, but the North Star ain't no North Star. You can call it what you want to call it. That star do rotates. It rotates for a thing, and it's supposed to show me it rotates. See, that's hilarious. See? This is the exact work they lay out moving east and mean. That's hilarious. Cutting directly inbound. Big Daddy right there. Cutting inbound. Cut inbound is north. South is outbound. It's real life shit. It's real life shit. So both of the poles should be located in south. Because ain't no north going up in no damn sky. We all understand that though. There's some different seats in this bitch though. I gotta try to figure out where I'm at. I ain't got caught up with y'all and got fucked up. Jay trying to say the center is dark and freezing. Well, how the fuck the Middle East is dark and freezing? Because they try to raise it up and tilt it and say that it ain't getting no sun because of a motherfucking 23.5 Masonic tilt. Ain't shit tilt. How you know a perfect ball is tilted? That shit don't work like that. Play what? It don't work like that. Play what? It don't. It don't work like that. Play what? Huh? The arch is filled with stories about harsh, sunless winters fighting against the sun's warmth directly. See, this is where they come from. They wanted the sun so goddamn bad, but they couldn't get none during the winter. The sun treated them real fucked up. Get your light, get your heat from the motherfucking moon. That's who birthed you. Shit, get your heat from the moon. Birthed you. That's who birthed you around this bitch. That's who birthed you around this bitch. You understand? That's who birthed you around this bitch. That's who blessed you and mutated your ass. That's how you start GMO and cutting your tails off. You stop being born with hub and backward bones and all that old shit. Y'all motherfuckers ain't no motherfucking gods, bro. Y'all motherfuckers ain't no motherfucking gods, bro. Stop that. Y'all motherfuckers ain't no motherfucking gods, bro. Because the sun passed things, in what? The subtropic zone. And it never traveled inbound towards the deep northern center. No, it never traveled in directional north or whatever, in geographical north. That's where it never traveled to. See, that's where it traveled to. But they go, you gotta see the bullshit. You gotta be able to distort between distinguish between bullshit you see. That's all. That's all you gotta do. Be able to see this shit. That's all you gotta do. Just be able to see the dumb ass shit. Just be able to see the dumb ass shit. That's all. Because it's real. It's real life. The solar energy is exactly why the central region remains trapped in permanent freezing temperatures. What? The area you left from. That's the area God don't go to. Not in the center where you done migrated and created a pole to deem the damn black bitch down to the earth forever. Like you God. Like we ain't gonna never figure out that you done took the Heavenly Father, a moon, that everybody's saying amen to, a moon, the primordial water, the promoter of black disc of existence and life. Y'all thought we weren't gonna never figure this shit out? Cause you said, sun gonna blind you. Don't look at it. Sun gonna blind you. Cause you said that dumb shit, you thought we weren't gonna look. You thought we weren't gonna look. You thought we weren't gonna goddamn look and see what the fuck really going on. Know what you thought? You thought we won't never goddamn come to our senses? Because the Central Zone is a brutal and sunless population naturally shift outward. People were they talking about the area they left from. Because that's the area I'm showing you. They talking about the area they left from. They talk about the area they migrated from. The sun's bound to cold, dark regions exist because of the travel they over. I might have the same thing twice sometimes. The North Star, Valeria stays fixed in the northern sky and is used as navigation. We know that. The Sirius is the dog star. See, I just got to tell y'all that. I got to tell you all these stars rotate. Huh? To the east. Persian. No Persians. The Asian persuasion. That's what y'all are, Persians. That's your ethnicity, Persian. That Persian Gulf. That's your ethnicity. You Europeans, that's what y'all are. Them motherfucking them goddamn beasts and them goddamn white folks ready to Persian, aka Asian persuasion. Yo, Iranians and all that shit. That's in the Middle East. How the fuck it's a cold pole in the Middle East. It's not. The North is where it's cold at, and they don't want us to know nothing about it. They don't even want to talk about it. Bitch, y'all come from the North. Hold over there. Oh, no flight restrictions. That what I just seen up there. Hold up. Hey, advise against the strictly limited flight. See, they got flight restrictions over this land, what I'm talking about. They're still in place to this day that you can't fly over that cold, frigid area where they migrated from, because they perpetrate and acting like it's down on the southern hemisphere. But in reality, there's what they call an Antarctica. There ain't no Antarctica. There ain't no ice behind my back. There's some ices behind our back. It's not behind our back. No, it ain't. No, it's behind our back because there ain't no southern hemisphere. And when you put these locations where it's supposed to be, Antarctica is going to be up just like Scotland. No same goddamn area. Same goddamn area. Area where these people migrated from. Airspace approval, long range, ready. Yeah, they got the restriction in the area. Like right now, I heard it before they watch this shit. Started AI information on top of this shit. So when you look at it, you won't be able to register the information properly. See what I'm saying? In real life. So that's why they don't want to goddamn claim their heritage and their lineage. They want to just be some Europeans and shit now. Nah, we ain't gonna let them do it. I ain't gonna let them do it. Yes, converting flat planisphere maps to globe changes how the bridge conform. I know it do. So if it's gonna change Australia, and if it's gonna change why those lands is around that pole, it's also gonna change the location of Antarctica to its rightful place. That cold, frigid area where you came from. That cold, frigid area where you came from. All y'all white people are the same lineage. Y'all got the same ancestry. Stop trying to have a diverse and new names for yourself and all that shit. Y'all the same people who hate the sun and doing all this dumb shit in the world and trying to say the sun is dead, the black sun is dead with its existence in the sea. Once y'all go out there and try to look at it, you got here now. You'll see it for yourself. But you ain't got to worry about 40 some more days. You're going to have another solar eclipse. God's going to reveal this as being the light of the world. A moon. Amen. Because that's who we're praying to, the Heavenly Father. The Heavenly Father is that blackness. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yes, Australia borders both the Pacific and why you bordering? Why you should be in the Indian Ocean? You should be in the sun. You should be the land down under. You should be the land down under. What the fuck that shit out here? You should be the land down under. You should be the land down under, but the boat is in the Pacific. A lot more shit in the Pacific, because I ain't no Arctic Ocean. I'ma show you. I'ma show you. What about I tell you? I'ma show you. The Arctic receives less. The Arctic receives less sun energy overall due to the Earth's tilt. Now, the ball tilted on a perfect spirit, they can tell it's tilted. Because the ball tilted away from the north. The ball tilts away from the north. That's why they don't get no sun. No, because the sun don't go that way. And the same thing gonna say about the Antarctic. Gonna say the same thing about the Antarctic. Both poles receive less total sun energy than the rest of the, strikes them low slanted and a low slanted angle. What do you mean? The South Pole should be up under the ball. How is it hit them both at the same angle? How does it hit the North Pole and the South Pole at the same goddamn angle? If it's two different locations. And one's on top and one's on the bottom. How that work? How that work? How does that work? It doesn't. It doesn't. While experiencing 24 hours constant sunlight in the summer, they spend the entire winter in total darkness because of the Antarctic and the South Pole sits in the high ice. So both of them sitting in high ice areas with one on the bottom, one on the top. Hey, y'all better stop playing with these folks. Y'all better stop playing with these folks to find your divinity. Something wrong with them old trucks. Now here, don't blow up. On a rotating sphere, top of the bottom is arbitrary directions, not opposing forces. Both polar regions experience the same angle. How? Man, get the fuck out of here. It's the same location, y'all. That is exactly how it works. They ain't moving. We're moving, it's just cutting around. Boom. Okay, the Scandinavians, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, more genetic sequences show that the Norse lineages was formed in a unique fusion of Western, yeah, because it sits over in the West. But it's in the North once you complete the Earth cross. It becomes North, where the sun don't go. Where Western hunter-gatherers coming from the South and the Eastern hunter-gatherers moving down along the Arctic, Norwegian coast after the Ice Age. All this shit, all of them come out of the North. Exactly. Oh, get up there. Get up there. Get up there. They fuck on my shit, man. Get up there. Greenland, Canada, the Inuit, Thor. See, that's the area that's in between where all that shit is rigid at. That they don't want you to go. They got real restrictions on it, but they ain't got military restrictions. You just go in there and find it. Just go see, can you fly through them areas there. Go see, can you fly through them areas there and see what's going on. What I'm trying to tell you, ancient DNA shows that Thor people and ancestors of the modern Greenland, Inuit, they want to be called Inuits and stuff, that bear stray, all that shit, man, ain't nobody on none of that bitch ass shit y'all talking about. While the medieval Norse Viking is established settlement in Greenland, Canada, and indigenous people, all of them came out the North. Why they don't want to claim their lineage? Because them Caucasians went over there and established some Caucasus Mountain shit in the east, over there near Turkey, Armenia, over there with them Kardashians. And anytime you hear something about a stand, or Pakistan, a stand, that means motherfucking mountains. Where they fuck mountain goats and shit at. Yeah, know what the fuck going on. So fuck the east, fuck the south, and north. You need to go home and come on over here and tell us about your lineage. Because we're not North America. Nah, they ain't how it work, homie. We're west, and you got us sucked up in the middle of your beast, and you running the western world from the Middle East. And that shit don't stop. These young niggas gonna wake up on y'all ass, fucking with me. These young niggas gonna wake up on y'all ass, fucking with me. We gonna go get a receipt to show that they was living through creatures and had to migrate and go find them some refuge, and they found it. When you come into the north, know what the fuck going on, that was gonna make you sorry. When you come into the north, know what the fuck going on, that was gonna make you sorry. That was gonna make you sorry. And with that being said, I'm out this bitch. I said the truth don't need no help. And let tomorrow worry about his motherfucking self. You need let tomorrow worry about his motherfucking self and live a life. Yeah, stress free. Even with the problems. Be less stressed as you can possibly be. Because it's designed for us to be stressed out. Yeah, for a whole lot of purposes. And these motherfuckers is in the motherfucking sky scribbling dark matter, which is consistent of melanin. They're fucking with the ancestors' souls. They're fucking with your melanated energy. They're fucking with your carbon-12 and snatching it straight out by the heavens now. These beasts do not play. They're snatching souls out of the heavens now. They fucking with your melanated energy in the heavens. They ain't waiting on you to die and ass dragging by no. No, they getting this shit straight out of the heavens. I'm gonna show y'all all this shit. I said, what that man said? I'm out this bitch. I said, damn. I said, boom. Swag.